Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to be guiding you through today's topic. We're taking a deep dive into a roadmap that honestly affects pretty much all of us, the KPMG 2026 Personal Tax Planning Guide. Specifically, we're going to break down their analysis of this massive piece of legislation called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or as you'll probably hear it called a lot more often, OB3. Now, I know tax law can often feel like this dense, totally impenetrable forest of numbers and jargon, but my goal today is to make these concepts not just completely accessible, but actually fascinating and highly practical for you. To really wrap our heads around the impact of the OB3 Act, I want you to ask yourself, is your financial house actually ready? Imagine you've spent years, decades even, building and decorating your home, getting everything exactly right. Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, the city comes in and rewrites the zoning laws, the building codes, and even shifts the property lines. Well, that is essentially what the OB3 Act has done to U.S. federal tax regulations. It's a total remodel of the rules. Some walls have been knocked down, new additions have been built, and if we want to thrive in this newly remodeled financial house, we absolutely need to understand the new blueprints. Let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's tour of the new tax landscape. 1. Meet the OB3 Act. 2. Everyday income and deductions. 3. The new charity hurdle. 4. High net worth navigations. And 5. Future-proofing your wealth. Right, let's start right at the foundation. Section 1. Meet the OB3 Act. The KPMG 2026 guide makes one thing crystal clear right out of the gate. OB3 isn't just some temporary coat of paint. No, this legislation introduces permanent changes to U.S. federal tax regulations. The very foundation of our financial house has fundamentally shifted. The rules of the game are locked in, which means we have to permanently adjust how we calculate, save, and strategize for the future. Moving down to the ground floor, let's look at Section 2, Everyday Income and Deductions. According to the guide, OB3 brings permanent changes to income tax brackets. I want you to think of income tax brackets like a ladder you climb as your earnings grow. As you step higher, your marginal tax rate, the exact percentage of tax you pay on that very last dollar of income you earn, well, it increases. The air gets a little thinner up there. What the OB3 Act has actually done is fundamentally adjust the spacing of the rungs on this ladder. Depending on where you stand, the distance to the next rung might be shorter or longer than it was before. Understanding exactly where your marginal income sits on this new ladder is step 1 in making sure you aren't paying more than your fair share. Now, what's really interesting here is how OB3 handles state and local tax deductions, which we commonly call SALT. Think of your state and local property and income taxes as this really heavy stack of books you have to carry around all day. In the past, the federal government gave you a very small, tightly capped backpack to carry those deductions. If your state taxes were too heavy,